What is up, DTube, Steam blockchain? So today I want to talk about the concept of video role models versus photo models. I think this is a fascinating topic because, well, even though video has existed here for a long time, especially video on the internet, if we take with YouTube, let's say 2005. I mean, that's 15 years, okay? So you may consider it, oh, the mainstream masses, they are doing, like, they're focused on video. No, they are mainly focused still on photo. Video is still one of these things that it hasn't really became, like, people are still obsessed about the idea of snapping photos when we have a video function and when we can use the best medium for video, and we still sort of stuck in this photo, let's say, photo model phase. The idea of a model, I mean, it can be a person, but it can be a concept. It can be depicting something, some nature or something. So I'm not just talking about the idea of a person being a model, but I think it's really fascinating now when when we have even better and better and better and better video cameras. It seems it starts to get interesting to sort of look at this from this perspective of a video role model. And the concept of a model is kind of interesting because, well, for example, if we take photos, one strange thing I think with photos is, well, it's limited data, and also after a person has taken a photo, taken a selfie or something, it's more open for, like, the viewer of that. It's almost like they are deciding what sort of that means for them. While if a person is doing videos, the author of that video, it's almost like they are sort of more having control over the perception of how something is being delivered, and also how, just because it's more data, they can use voice, they can use moving images. There is just more, let's say, bandwidth to sort of to easier be able to create the experience that you were considering in your mind that you would like to sort of create. While it's really, really interesting because it's, if we take first with the concept of video, that it's way more inclusive, that it's way more, it includes other people to let them know that you're sort of serious about something. While I sort of feel that the culture with photos, it is way more exclusive. It's way more about trying to appear super exclusive or super exotic, while video is just more about, well, okay, now we're just human beings. Okay, we can just do videos. We can just be authentic. We can just be ourselves. Even though, yes, in theory, you can also be authentic and be so-called real with photos, but just because the bandwidth is just much lower, so it becomes almost like it becomes like watching paintings. It's almost like it's not even real, or it's like it's more about, it's almost, it's as if it's more about hypnotize a sort of a person to be in a certain sort of energy state, perhaps. While video is more video role models, it almost becomes more like, okay, I'm real, like I exist, like I'm a real human being, and the human being has their own thoughts. It's nuanced information, it's not simplistic, and it doesn't fit into a logical framework. It's more open. It looks like it's more free. And it's really interesting because when you're looking at this, you sort of consider, like, I'm not sure if this so-called photo obsession culture, if they easily will be able to transition to this sort of video kind of culture, because the cultures are so different. The way sort of they're looking at the world is so different. And I'm not really sure if this sort of photo model culture, if it naturally will evolve into all of them just doing videos and being super so-called transparent. I'm not sure if that transition is something that will happen super easy, because, well, because it is kind of it's kind of up to people, like how they want to sort of use a medium and use a technology. And the benefit with photos for a lot of people is with photos that they don't have to show so much, and they can sort of yeah, they don't have to show that much, and they can sort of shape, let's say, the perception in a way. They have some power in a way with that, with photos. How, well, you don't have to use that many words or use that much voice. You don't have to show so much, and then you can sort of shape the perception in a certain way. While of course there are other sort of benefits and rewards with video, and the idea of like video role models, and it seems like it's going to move towards more video role models. Because I mean, because I'm looking at it, I see all these new kind of content creators that are just being themselves, and it's a different culture. It even is a different culture compared to this first generation of video creators on YouTube, where it's like, hey, I'm this, where they always try to like, hey, I'm like, they're always like doing something. Oh, I'm here now. Oh, I'm there. Oh, I'm at the beach. Oh, I'm doing this. Like, it's like, oh, cutscene. I mean, it is kind of different in some ways. And I'm not sure if even those earlier video creators, if they are going to try to do this sort of other thing, because I think a lot of it comes down to the way sort of people are looking at other people and how they're interacting with other sort of humans, where the concept of video role models, for me, in many ways, when I would like label a person a little bit, that it's almost like they're more coming from more balanced perspective of how they're sort of looking at other people, and how they just come to some form of realization that, oh, wait a sec, everyone is kind of the same in some ways now. Even though, I mean, of course, I mean, we're all different capabilities, but what I mean is when everyone basically has like a video function, and everyone can sort of talk and use voice, there is a lot of you can kind of come to a big realization that a lot of stuff is just, nobody's really sitting on any special information. Nobody's really super exotic or exclusive. Now it's mainly just about, well, can you be sort of inclusive, and can you kind of look at the world from a day-to-day perspective, and sort of try to figure stuff out a little bit more, and try to expand your borders of ignorance. While the old sort of paradigm, I sort of feel, with this photo model aspect, is people sort of want to appear as if they already know everything. They already figure everything out. While when people are doing like videos, and when they're not putting on a show, it's more as people are just, oh, I'm just a human being. Hey, this is what I was looking at, and now I'm sort of trying to figure out sort of how the world works. And it's more that human. It seems like these video role models, it's almost like they are the first generation that is sort of trying to evolve into becoming actually human beings, where they're just being and just trying to report back, being a being, seeing what they're perceiving, and just reporting back a lot, instead of trying to almost put in a story in someone's head of, hey, I'm this, I have this many followers, I get this many likes. while this new technology is like, okay, well, we all are using sort of the same kind of token system, same token value system, and we can sort of share this around, and that you're sort of starting to realize, well, sure, you can have this independent island with like this photo model culture in some ways, even though they're also working together in some aspects. But I mean, it seems like the video role model aspect that they're way more inclusive, and that they sort of start to see everything more from a proof of brain perspective of having the realization, well, if other people on this network and if they are using proof of brain, everyone is basically going to benefit, instead of the old system feels a little bit more super competitive, where people are fighting over scarce resources, even though you can also say these other systems that they also scarce resources, but we have more abundance when we can sort of create new tokens and create value from nothing. And yeah, so that's what I want to talk a little bit about. So I want to see everyone basically do video and like be so-called role models in that way, and I sort of want stuff to move away a bit from followers, and where people just trying to sort of being a human instead of always trying to the photo mod aspect. It seems like everyone's like trying to copy each other super much, while it seems like people are trying to go into themselves a little bit more with video, and that they're trying to use their brain a little bit more. It just seems like it. So, and that it also takes more effort. Like it seems like it takes more effort to sort of do videos and try to be conscious about it. So what I want to talk a little bit about today. Have a great day, D Tube.